Hey guys, did you all know that I absolutely love Luigi's Mansion? Well, you should have, because I've done a lot of content with this game. And so, we're going to be revisiting the game, or should I say, the whole entire game series with this video called 30 Spooky Facts About Every Luigi's Mansion Game Combined. And I know it's a terrible title, but we'll come up with something better. Anyway, so as part of Spooktober, I decided to do something a little spooky, even though these games really aren't as spooky as one would expect. But we're doing it anyway, and I thought it'd be a fun video idea. Now, in case you're wondering, I'm gonna go in order from the first game to the second, and then to the third. And so, before we get started, I just want to say today's video will also be featuring everyone's favorite Boopinion, Bryan.
Thank you everyone. It's been a blast here, but be here all week.
Alright, let's get to it. So, just like in many other games, of course there's going to be unused models, textures, music, etc. And so in Luigi's Mansion 1, there's actually an unused creepy ghost called L. E-L-H is the spelling. Apparently it's described as a tall, faceless creature, and it seems like he would have had fire or ice attacks, which seems cool on paper, but, you know, I'm glad he doesn't exist, because man, does he look creepy. People actually brought him into the game through cheats, and wow. Really glad this did not make it into the final game.
In Luigi's Mansion 1, there was an unused animation of Luigi getting poisoned, and he would lose health really fast. Now, what this kind of reminds me of, interestingly, is when Sonic would drown in one of the older Sonic games, so I'm kind of glad this wasn't included in the game, but definitely would have added to the creepy atmosphere.
Now, when you head on over to the file selection screen, there's actually a prompt that says, "Welcome to your mansion." However, if you let it sit for a while, the Y actually disappears, making the new line, "Welcome to our mansion." Now, something similar actually happens when you want to copy your files, and there's another prompt that says, "More files mean more fear." However, the creepiest part is when you're selecting to erase something, it prompts a message saying you can erase files, but you can't erase fear. Spooky.
There was an unused ghost that would follow Luigi and scare him from behind, and his HP would momentarily drop to 50, so what I'm wondering is if other ghosts had hit you during this time period, would you then die if your health is at 50? I'm not sure, but this definitely would have added to the difficulty of the game.
Okay, so y'all already aware that there aren't any portrait ghosts to be found in the Safari Room. However, during development, they actually wanted to design a stereotypical hunter ghost, and that would actually claim to Luigi, "I'm going to kill you and mount your head as a trophy." Sounds pretty dark, and I'm really glad it was scrapped. Like, man, they would have changed the rating, and man, whew, that would have scared a lot of kids such as myself when I was 5.
So, in terms of the second area boss, Bogmire is literally the manifestation of fear in the mansion according to the lore for the game. Definitely a creepy fact and might be number 1 on the list for most spooky.
So, there's actually several sound effects unused in this game. However, I came across one that's particularly creepy, which basically is a screech. Here, take a listen. Yeah, big bruh moment. Like, seriously, I think the sound probably belonged to L, and yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's gonna give me nightmares.
Interestingly enough, Boolossus is the only ghost in the entire mansion that doesn't have any HP, which I guess if you count the bomb-throwing ghosts that have 0 HP, that's not any HP either, but Boolossus is the only one that literally doesn't have an HP bar.
Okay, so moving on to the beta version of the game, the Game Boy Horror used to display time, and the main intentions were that you would need to beat it at a certain point, and if you didn't, you would meet this creepy looking Luigi that's supposed to be the old game over screen. And man, does that look really scary. Like, who designed that Luigi? He's so freaky looking. Some people in the community have speculated that Luigi just committed suicide because he was so depressed at the fact that he couldn't find Mario or something. And yeah, he decided to kill himself and became, I guess, a ghost or some weird being, and he looks so funny, and actually he's not funny, he's freaking scary.
Early into the development of the game, in the E3 2001 playable demo of Luigi's Mansion, in terms of Miss Petunia, if you enter the bathroom that she's in and then you open the curtain, you aren't able to see anyone. Kind of gives me the Shining vibes for this one.
Alright, so after beating Boolossus, you can head straight to the telephone room. Now, over there, if you pick up the phone and wait for some lightning, you'll see Luigi's shadow. Now, it's not any normal shadow, it actually is him getting hung. Yeah, not really, I'm joking. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be some lighting glitch, and honestly, it really does look like he's committing suicide or something. Now, I'm not sure if Nintendo ever noticed this or they did and didn't really think about removing it because, you know, the theme of the game is supposed to be kind of unsettling, so yeah, call it what you will.
Luigi's Mansion is the only game that you technically see Shy Guy's face, if you consider Ghost Guys related to Shy Guys. But I'm not entirely sure if this is his face, because even in Power Tennis, there's an instance where the mask falls off, but Luigi isn't able to see anything. I guess this comes into question of whether or not Ghost Guys are related to Shy Guys, but if they are related, what is a Shy Guy?
If you ever get bored playing the game, you can take a break and check the Game Boy Horror, and there you can actually find blurbs for each portrait ghost that you caught in the game. Now, I used to read Chauncey's and think that was creepy, where he was actually born a ghost, supposedly, but now I can't help but notice Sue P's. Check this out. What was meant to be a short nap seems to have turned into an eternal rest for sweet Sue P. That's kinda weird, dude. Like, did someone murder her in her sleep? Like, what? Okay, so when it comes to Dark Moon, there isn't too many scary things about it, but hey, the implications are actually still there. Now, for this fact, the first letter of each of the possessor bosses, you know, that are found in every mansion, spells out ghosts. Check this out. Grouchy Possessor, Harsh Possessor, Overset Possessor, Shrewd Possessor, and Tough Possessor. Similar to the first fact, the first letters of the names of the 5 playable mansions in Dark Moon spell out ghosts as well. They are, from order, Gloomy Manor, Haunted Towers, Old Clockworks, Secret Mine, and Treacherous Mansion. Damn, ghosts times 2. Ooh.
So, this fact is kind of related to Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3. Early into the game, Polterpup doesn't have any pupils, and at the end of the game he does, I guess because he becomes a good ghost at that point. However, when you then play Luigi's Mansion 3, he doesn't have pupils again, which is very interesting because after the Dark Moon is shattered and Evershade Valley is restored, the rest of the ghosts have pupils again, meaning they're good. However, Polterpup does not, so it comes into question of whether or not Polterpup is a different kind of ghost. This is kind of a throwback to a classic movie. The opening scene in which Luigi is sleeping in front of a TV and suddenly displays static is a direct reference to the 1982 film Poltergeist, which I would definitely recommend as a Halloween movie if you want to watch something spooky.
Now, while boos in this game aren't as prominent as the first, it's still there, and for one of the boos, he actually talks in binary code. And if you actually put this into a binary code translator, it actually just translates to boo. I don't know, it's not really that scary or creepy or anything, I just find it kind of funny and, you know, it's implied, so yeah, boo.
The Old Clockworks area in Luigi's Mansion 2 was shut down, and this is according to EGAD, because of horrific accidents. And there's actually a scene in which you can see a jacket hanging in a section of the Clockworks that looks like a person was hung at that point. So we don't know how gruesome the accidents were, but it definitely does fit the description.
Ooh, so there's a cutscene in Treacherous Mansions in which 2 strong greenies bring a suit of armor to life. Now, if this isn't self-explanatory already, I'll tell you what. This is a reference to Frankenstein, which is a film, a book, and probably other types of media, and what it has in common is the fact that this is like gothic literature or like a gothic horror genre type of thing. And honestly, I find this pretty interesting because they nodded to something pretty horrific.
In the E3 demo footage for Luigi's Mansion 2, there is an instance where if you look out a window, there's a running creature. We don't know what this creature is, but this definitely gives me creepy vibes and kind of reminds me of the weird creatures in Super Mario Galaxy that you can see off of the cliff.
In the beginning portion of the game, EGAD tells you to head to the garage to find the Poltergeist 5000, which is cool and all, right? I mean, go to the garage, go to his car, and get it. However, have you actually paid attention and listened thoroughly to how the garage theme sounds like before getting the actual thing? Here, take a listen. Yeah, it literally sounds like a ghost lurkin', which honestly gives me the creeps. Ugh.
So, Dark Moon is actually referenced in Luigi's Mansion 3 in this section relatively close to when you face King Boo. Kind of a creepy reference because it kind of reminds me of a scene from horror movies where you are able to see a smaller, like a model set of the mansion that you're in, or like a dollhouse. It's just creepy looking at a model of a previous game and wondering if it's relative to any of the things Luigi did. This one is a throwback to an old movie and a great horror book, The Shining. So in the hallway of Twisted Towers, the carpet pattern is the same as the carpet in The Shining.
Alright, so for those who actually watched my ranking the bosses in Luigi's Mansion 3, know that I didn't really like DJ Phantasmagoria. She was actually more on the bottom of the list, but what I actually found interesting is that Phantasmagoria is actually a pun to the word Phantasmagoria, which by definition means a sequence of real or imaginary images like that seen in a dream. So basically, in another sense, it's like shifting series of illusions or like deceptive appearances as in a dream or created by imagination, and it makes me wonder, DJ Phantasmagoria wasn't really a good boss, she didn't really put up much of a fight, and it makes me think, what if there's another side of her, this Phantasmagoria side, you know? Like, what if she haunts me in my sleep? Ugh.
If you are in the sewer section of Luigi's Mansion 3, there is a balloon, and I don't think it's any coincidence that this came out relatively close to the release of the movie It. Again, another great movie to watch if you're a scary movie fan, and definitely a creepy reference in the game. Luigi, interestingly enough, is made out of ectoplasm and coffee. The reason why I think this is spooky is because did Egad experiment and then drink the coffee after he made Luigi? Like, it's just weird that he's interacting with Luigi and coffee. So I'll let you speculate on that one. Okay, so for this one, when Luigi is being used, Luigi is classified as drifting, and what this is referring to is, if anyone's familiar with astral projections, which is when your body is in like a subconscious state, and then you're not a ghost, but you kind of leave your body and go into a different realm. So that's kind of what's going on with Luigi being used while Luigi is unconscious.
Okay, so you just heard the bookworm Bryan explain what astral projection is. So if Luigi actually does leave his body momentarily, I still don't know how Luigi gives a thumbs up when Luigi picks up an item. Like, does this mean Luigi actually shares a brain with Luigi? Or am I just thinking this too hard and it's just player one type of stuff and, you know, you just switch places? I don't know. So, y'all already know that there's a lot of movie references in paranormal productions in Luigi's Mansion 3. However, what's the spookiest one to me is the fact that in this one set with the well, a girl pops out of it. It's supposed to scare you, but normally it wouldn't scare players until you realize it's actually referencing The Ring, at least what many people think it is, which is pretty dark and unsettling when you look at the visual. So if you want to know a little bit about the movie, basically anyone that watches some horror-related tapes gets murdered by a girl that comes out of a well and out from the TV. So yeah, you can imply that you've indirectly met a murderer.
Mamma mia!
Alright folks, there you have it, 30 spooky facts about Luigi's Mansion, all games combined Yeah, still don't know the title for this yet. Anyway, I'm pretty sure not all of these facts were remotely close to being scary, but hey, it's a Luigi's Mansion game. If we at least made it kind of creepy or unsettling for you guys, and of course if it was enjoyable, be sure to drop a like. And if there's more facts that we haven't mentioned in this video that are sort of creepy or unsettling or scary or spooky or any other adjective that defines horror, well, what are you waiting for? Be sure to drop them down below. We would love to read what you guys have found. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, my spookers.